Welcome back to Elderly Smiles. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. Today, we're going to be looking into something that you might not expect. The surprising connection between strong legs and a longer, healthier life. I was reading this article the other day, and it really kind of blew my mind. Turns out that leg strength can be like a silent alarm system for your body, especially as you age.
That's a great analogy. It's easy to think of leg strength as just being able to climb stairs.
Yeah.
Or walk briskly, but it goes so much deeper than that.
Exactly. So we're going to unpack why strong legs are so crucial for overall health and longevity. We'll also explore some simple things you can do to boost your leg strength right now, like incorporating certain foods into your diet.
And we'll delve into some of the latest research on age-related muscle loss and how you can combat it.
Sounds good. So to kick things off, can you explain why leg strength is such a big deal? Beyond just making everyday activities easier, what makes it so essential for overall health?
Well, think about it this way. Your legs are your foundation. They support you, propel you forward, and help you maintain balance. As we age, maintaining that strength becomes even more crucial because it directly impacts our mobility and independence.
That makes sense. But I'm also curious about the connection between strong legs and longevity. How does leg strength actually translate into living a longer life?
There have been some fascinating studies on this. For example, a study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that leg strength was a stronger predictor of mortality in middle-aged adults than even cardiovascular fitness.
Wow, that's pretty compelling. What's the link there?
There are a few key factors at play. Strong legs mean better circulation, which is essential for delivering oxygen and nutrients throughout the body. They also contribute to a healthier heart, because your heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood. And of course, strong legs make it easier to stay active, which is a cornerstone of preventing chronic diseases and maintaining overall well-being as we age.
Okay, so it's like a domino effect. Strong legs lead to all these other positive health outcomes. That's amazing. Now let's talk about this idea of legs being a silent alarm system. I found that really intriguing. How can our legs signal potential health issues?
Well, it all comes down to something called sarcopenia, which is the natural age-related decline in muscle mass. And this can start much earlier than most people realize, sometimes as early as your 30s.
I had no idea it could start that young. I thought sarcopenia was something you only had to worry about much later in life.
It's a gradual process, but being aware of it early on can make a big difference. And here's where the alarm system comes in. If you start noticing weakness in your legs, difficulty doing things you used to do easily, or just a general feeling of your legs not being as strong as they used to be, it could be an early warning sign of sarcopenia or other underlying health issues.
So it's like our legs are sending us a message saying, hey, pay attention, something might be off here.
Exactly. And the sooner you address those signals, the better. It's always easier to prevent further muscle loss than it is to regain muscle mass once it's gone.
That's a great point. So paying attention to changes in our leg strength and endurance is key. Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about how we can actually support our leg muscles through diet. The article I read highlighted a few specific foods that are particularly beneficial for building and maintaining leg strength.
Absolutely. There are some real powerhouses out there that can make a big difference. What are some of the ones that stood out to you?
Well, the article mentioned eggs, spinach, and bananas as being especially beneficial for leg health. What makes these foods so special in terms of their impact on leg strength?
Each of these foods brings something unique to the table. Let's start with eggs. They're an excellent source of complete protein, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids that your body needs to build and repair muscle tissue.
And that's essential for our legs, since they're constantly being used and need to be strong to support us.
Precisely. Plus, eggs are a good source of vitamin D, which is crucial for bone health and calcium absorption. And strong bones are essential for supporting strong muscles.
Right, it's all connected. If your bones are weak, your muscles can't function at their best.
Exactly. And don't forget that eggs also contain selenium, which is an antioxidant that helps protect muscle cells from damage. So they really are a triple threat when it comes to leg health.
Impressive. Okay, so what about spinach? It's often touted as a superfood. But what makes it so good for our legs in particular?
Spinach is packed with nutrients that are especially beneficial for muscle health. It's an excellent source of iron, which is crucial for transporting oxygen throughout your body. This is essential for your muscles to function properly and recover after exertion.
So if you're feeling fatigued or your legs are feeling heavy, it could be a sign that you need more iron in your diet.
That's definitely something to consider. Spinach is also a good source of magnesium, which helps your muscles relax and can help prevent those painful muscle cramps that many of us experience as we age.
That's a big one, especially if you're active. Muscle cramps can really sideline you.
And finally, spinach is a good source of vitamin K, which is important for bone health and helps prevent joint injuries.
So spinach is a real all-around winner for leg health. All right, now let's move on to bananas. I know they're a great source of potassium, but what role does potassium play in leg strength?
Potassium is essential for muscle function. It helps regulate muscle contractions and prevents those dreaded muscle cramps we were just talking about. And bananas are one of the best sources of potassium you can find.
And I know bananas are also a great source of energy. Does that come from the potassium as well?
It's actually due to their natural carbohydrates. These carbs are quickly absorbed by your body, providing a quick and sustained energy boost, which is why bananas are a popular snack for athletes before and after workouts.
That makes sense. I remember eating a banana before every track meet in high school. I always felt like it gave me an extra edge.
Bananas also contain vitamin B6, which helps with red blood cell production. This in turn improves blood flow to your muscles, helping them recover faster and function more efficiently.
So to recap, we've got eggs for building muscle, spinach for oxygen and cramp prevention, and bananas for energy and recovery. It sounds like a perfect leg-strengthening trio.
It really is, and what's even better is that you can easily incorporate these foods into your diet in so many different ways. You're absolutely right. They're all so versatile. You can have eggs for breakfast, add spinach to a salad or smoothie, and grab a banana for a quick and easy snack. Speaking of smoothies, the article we're discussing mentioned a recipe for a leg-strengthening smoothie that incorporates all three of these superfoods. I'm curious to get your take on that.
I saw that too. It sounds like a convenient way to pack in all those nutrients. What are your thoughts on using smoothies as a way to boost leg strength?
I think smoothies can be a great tool, especially for those who struggle to get enough fruits and vegetables in their diet or are looking for a quick and easy way to fuel their muscles. This particular recipe combines banana spinach, a boiled egg honey, and almond milk. It's a really interesting mix.
I'm intrigued by the addition of the boiled egg. I haven't seen that in many smoothie recipes before. What's the rationale behind that?
It's a smart way to add a boost of protein and make the smoothie more filling. The protein from the egg helps with muscle repair and growth, which is crucial for building and maintaining leg strength.
And what about the other ingredients? I know honey is a natural sweetener, but does it offer any benefits beyond that?
Honey has some interesting properties. It contains antioxidants and has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects, which could be beneficial for muscle recovery.
That makes sense. And almond milk is often touted as a healthy alternative to cow's milk. What are its benefits in this context?
Almond milk is a good source of calcium and vitamin E, both of which are important for bone health. It's also lower in calories and fat than cow's milk, which might appeal to some people.
So this smoothie really does seem like a well-rounded way to support leg health. I might have to give it a try. Now, shifting gears a bit, I want to touch on some of the habits that can actually weaken our leg muscles over time. The article mentioned a few culprits, and I think it's important to address them.
I agree. It's not just about what we eat, but also about our lifestyle choices and how they impact our muscle health. What were some of the habits that stood out to you?
Well, the article talked about a sedentary lifestyle, insufficient protein intake, and dehydration as being major contributors to leg muscle weakness. I think most of us know that sitting for long periods isn't good for our health. But how does it specifically affect our leg muscles?
When you sit for extended periods, your leg muscles aren't being used or challenged. This leads to muscle atrophy, which means your muscles literally start to shrink and weaken.
It's like the use it or lose it principle in action.
Exactly. And prolonged sitting also reduces blood circulation in your legs, which means essential nutrients and oxygen aren't reaching your muscles as efficiently.
And that can have a cascading effect, leading to other problems.
Absolutely. Poor circulation can contribute to stiffness, reduced flexibility, and even an increased risk of blood clots and other health issues.
Okay, so we need to avoid sitting for too long
Oh.
and make sure we're moving regularly. But what about insufficient protein intake? How does that tie into leg muscle weakness?
Protein is crucial for muscle repair and growth. If you're not consuming enough protein, your body struggles to keep up with the demands placed on your muscles, especially if you're active.
So even if we're exercising and using our leg muscles, if we're not giving them enough protein to recover and rebuild, they're not going to get stronger.
Precisely. Over time, this can lead to a loss of muscle mass, making your legs feel weaker and less able to support your body.
That makes perfect sense. Now let's talk about dehydration. I know it's important to stay hydrated in general, but how does dehydration specifically impact our leg muscles?
Your muscles are primarily made up of water, so staying hydrated is essential for them to function properly. Dehydration can lead to muscle cramps, fatigue, and even injuries, especially during physical activity.
So those leg cramps that we talked about earlier, those could be a sign of dehydration.
They certainly could be, especially if you're experiencing them during or after exercise. Reaching for a glass of water should be your first line of defense in that situation.
That's good to know. And I think it's easy to forget to drink enough water throughout the day, especially if you're not feeling thirsty.
That's a common mistake people make. You don't have to wait until you're thirsty to drink water. It's much better to sip on water consistently throughout the day to maintain optimal hydration levels.
So we've got these 3 common habits that can contribute to leg muscle weakness: a sedentary lifestyle, insufficient protein intake, and dehydration. What are some practical tips for combating these habits and keeping our legs strong?
The key is to incorporate simple, sustainable changes into your daily routine. For combating a sedentary lifestyle, focus on incorporating more movement into your day.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Even something as simple as taking a 10-minute walk a few times a day can make a big difference. You could also try standing up and stretching every hour if you have a desk job. Little bursts of activity throughout the day can really add up.
Those are great manageable tips. What about increasing our protein intake? Any suggestions for easy ways to do that?
Make sure you're including protein-rich foods in each meal. Lean meats, fish, eggs, beans, lentils, and tofu are all excellent sources of protein. And don't forget about those eggs for breakfast. They're a great way to start your day with a protein boost.
Exactly. And what about staying hydrated? Any tips beyond just remembering to drink water?
Keep a water bottle with you at all times and sip on it throughout the day. You can also set reminders on your phone or use a hydration tracking app if that helps. And don't forget about those hydrating fruits and vegetables like watermelon and cucumbers. They can contribute to your overall fluid intake.
This has been incredibly informative. It's amazing how these small changes can really add up to make a significant difference in our leg strength and overall health.
It's all about those consistent efforts over time. Building healthy habits is a journey, not a destination.
I love that. So as we wrap up our discussion on leg strength, I want to circle back to that powerful analogy of legs being the body's silent alarm system. It really got me thinking about how important it is to pay attention to those subtle signals our body sends us.
It's such a potent image, isn't it? It makes you realize that our bodies are constantly communicating with us, often in ways that we might overlook or dismiss.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We tend to focus on the obvious symptoms when something feels wrong. But what if we tuned into those subtler cues? What could we learn about our health and well-being?
That's a great question. It challenges us to cultivate a deeper awareness of what's going on within our bodies. What sensations are you noticing? What changes are you experiencing? These subtle shifts could be trying to tell you something important.
It's a reminder that our bodies are incredibly complex and interconnected. And sometimes those seemingly small signals can be early indicators of something bigger going on beneath the surface.
Precisely. It's all about listening to those whispers of wisdom that our bodies are constantly sending us.
So the takeaway here is to be more mindful of what our bodies are trying to tell us. Don't ignore those whispers, those little nudges. They might be trying to point us in the right direction when it comes to our health.
Absolutely. It's all about cultivating that deeper awareness and connection with our physical selves. Sometimes those subtle signs can lead us to make changes that not only improve our physical health, but also enhance our overall well-being.
I think that's a perfect point to bring up something we touched on earlier, that leg-strengthening smoothie recipe. For those listeners who want to start incorporating those superfoods we talked about, maybe a smoothie is a good place to start.
I agree. And even if you don't have all the ingredients for that specific smoothie right now, remember that just incorporating eggs, spinach, and bananas into your diet in any way you can is a fantastic step in the right direction.
Well said. As we wrap up our discussion on leg strength, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought to ponder. We've talked about how our legs can act as a silent alarm system for our overall health, but what other subtle signs from our bodies might we be overlooking?
That's a powerful question. It really challenges us to tune in and pay attention to those whispers of wisdom that our bodies are constantly sending us.
Exactly. Maybe it's a slight change in our digestion, a new ache or pain, or even just a feeling of being off. These subtle shifts might be trying to tell us something important.
Our bodies are intricate ecosystems, and
Yeah.
everything is interconnected. Those subtle signs might be our body's way of saying, hey, let's pay attention to this. Let's make a change.
So I encourage everyone listening to take a moment today to simply check in with themselves. How are you feeling? What sensations are you noticing? Are there any subtle signs that you might have been brushing aside?
It's amazing what we can discover when we take the time to truly listen to our bodies. And who knows? Those whispers might just lead you to make a change that transforms your health and well-being in ways you never imagined.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us today for this fascinating exploration into the world of leg strength and its connection to overall health and longevity.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our amazing listeners out there, thank you for tuning in to Elderly Smiles. We'll see you next time for another insightful journey into the world of health and wellness. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and press that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until then, take care and keep those legs strong.